Hey guys, crypto. Oh, seriously. Damn it. All right. All right. I'm so sorry, guys. I was just going on and on and on, and I didn't see anybody screaming at me, telling me that they couldn't hear me. My bad. Oh, okay. You guys can hear me now? No, okay. Now I scrolled all the way down, and then you guys are like, yeah, I can't hear you. Please. You're talking to yourself, man. If he would look at the chat, yes. Okay, yes, I've been doing this live stream for a couple years now, and you'd think I would know better, but there was a troubleshooting question at the very beginning, and he was already here. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. So sorry. 16 minutes into the live stream, and you can finally hear me. All right. I was being mean to people that are still running Windows 7. So anyway, if you're running, like I said, the VE chain, I threw a link to that VE chain video. That was the first question. Ledger Live, they were talking about version 2.0. And the latest version right now is 2.3.2. Make sure you're running the latest version of Ledger. Let's just jump into the news. And of course, as always, please check out the description below for all my affiliate links, links to all the news stories, and links to a bunch of other videos that I've done on Ledger. All right. Hardware wallet, I feel, is one of the most secure and best ways to store your cryptocurrency. So let's go over to the first news nugget. Here we go. Bitcoin nears golden cross, but will BTC finally conquer 10K? Well, it looks like we have our answer. It did not cross 10K today or the last couple of days. As you remember, last week, My title was Bitcoin Breaks 10,000, which it did for not very long, and now it's back. But it's not, the bottom is not falling out. Bitcoin has gone up and down, and it's almost welcome. You know, back in the early days of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin was very volatile. It was constantly going up and down, and it's almost nostalgic now that Bitcoin is like, you know, moving up and down in like 10% in one day and that kind of thing. So anyway, I'd like you to check out this article. It talks about factors in the charts that would indicate whether it's going to cross 10,000 or not, and we already know that it didn't, at least not right away. All right, so I try not to spend too much time on market stuff. I'm not an investment guy. I'm just here to help guy, and I do step-by-step kind of stuff, but I do like to give you guys an overview of Bitcoin from the beginning of the video. We know Bitcoin is a digital currency, decentralized digital currency that uses an immutable ledger that is stored in multiple locations all over the world. Each node or copy of the blockchain has all of the entire history of the Bitcoin transactions from the Genesis block to the latest block, and all of these blocks all over the world on different devices and computers sync up to each other using advanced cryptography. So each copy is an exact copy, and that is verified with cryptographic mathematical tools. And so that is why it can be run decentralized, right? Every other attempt at digital currencies was always needed some sort of centralized clearinghouse. That's how banks work. That's how Visa works. That's how MasterCard works. That's how PayPal works. That's how Amazon works. They all need to have a centralized area where transactions are verified or rejected or denied or whatever. Now, but Bitcoin is different than that. Bitcoin is decentralized. There are nodes all over the world, and each node checks all the other nodes to make sure that it is up to date, right? And that's how we can send transactions back and forth mathematically, right? No one controls it. Anyway, so we talked a little bit about the Bitcoin price action. Let's see here. I've got here we go. Sorry. It looks like I linked to, but I kind of like, this is an opinion piece about money and privacy, and we talk a lot about financial privacy, and Bitcoin is not a private cryptocurrency. It's transparent. The blockchain is transparent. It's pseudonymous. I think I pronounced that right, which means that I don't need to give you my name and number and bank account and address and everything in order to send and receive Bitcoin, right? All I need is a wallet. And so you really don't need to know my life history to accept Bitcoin from me, right? If you say, you know, hey, send me some Bitcoin and I'll send you a Pokemon card, and I send you Bitcoin, that's it. You know it's there. You've got it, and you'll send my Pokemon card. You don't need to worry that I'm going to reverse charges or that it's a fraud card or anything like that, right? Bitcoin is real in that sense, right? And it's irreversible. I can't take it back once I send it to you. But anyway, a lot of people talk about privacy, and they bang Bitcoin because they say it's used by criminals, and any real sophisticated criminal that's using Bitcoin is not that sophisticated, because using advanced tools, you can match a Bitcoin wallet to its owner. There's many ways to do that now. So it's not really an anonymous coin. So, but we talk a lot about financial privacy. And I just wanted to bring this up that you know, the government makes out Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies to be, you know, used by criminals because they're trying to do it in secret, and they liken people that want financial privacy to drug lords and money launderers and human traffickers and all that thing. They want us to think that there's something wrong with wanting to keep our financial transactions private. But there is nothing wrong with that. I'd love to, you know, just tell you that if you take anything away from this, there is nothing wrong with wanting to keep your financial transactions private. We all want privacy. We all need privacy. I've said this many times. That's why windows have curtains and bathrooms have doors, right? There is nothing wrong with privacy. So in order to in order to transact in private, most people use cash, and they have used cash for many times. Now, there's the whole issue of avoiding taxes, you know, and supposedly that makes you a criminal if you're, you know, if you want your transaction to stay private. But even if I wanted to stay private, I could still claim whatever the government needs to know about my money, right? They really don't need to know who I'm buying from, where I'm buying, how much I'm buying, whatever. They, as far as if I give them all the information they need about how much money I make, right? Doesn't really matter. So anyway, this is a opinion article about the former Secretary of the Treasury who mentioned something about privacy in currency. Anyway. Oh, man.
Wow, look at the picture.
I think it ties in with the public health issue. A lot of people that are conspiracy theorists, I guess, are saying that, you know, the government is trying to impose a cashless society on us, and they'll know every transaction, and that Bitcoin is a part of that. But I don't believe that. I believe that Bitcoin was a something natural that occurred. I don't think it was some kind of conspiracy. And like I said, it's not really totally private anyway. But I don't think the government, it's a government plot to get rid of cash and see all of our transactions, right? There may be other digital monetary systems that might do that, but that's not what Bitcoin is or it's all about. So anyway. Yeah, Bitcoin's for criminals and politicians should love it. I like that one. Do we have the risk of not having the transaction performed if there is nothing left in original account to pay for the fee? We sent all we had. Usually a Bitcoin wallet will calculate the fee when you send out. Now there are some older wallets. It is possible to send out a Bitcoin transaction without any fees at all, but it most likely won't get mined. It'll just sit there. It might just like die and never get mined. And I don't know if it would ever bounce back to you or not. But anyway, most wallets don't allow that anymore. They require some kind of fee. So it's not really possible for you to accidentally send out your entire wallet. Here, I'm going to switch over here. This screen is a little easier for you guys to see. So let's go ahead and do a quick Bitcoin transfer. And then I would like to move Bitcoin from one account to... Actually, why don't I do that right now? I've got two accounts here in Ledger Live. And I'm going to move some Bitcoin from one to the other. They just happen to be on the same... The private keys of both of these wallets happen to be on the same Ledger device. But they are two distinct addresses on the blockchain. So I start with the account I want to send to. I normally don't do this. This is like a receiving account, but just for laughs, right? First we hit receive, and we generate a receiving address, right? That's the receiving address that I want to send Bitcoin to. I'm going to copy that into my clipboard. I'm taking a shortcut today. All right, and then I go over to the Bitcoin account that I want to send. Right, so I send, and then I enter the Bitcoin address. Right, so this is at its most basic. Right, I want to send some Bitcoin from one Bitcoin address to another. They just happen to both be wallets that I control. Right, but this could be somebody else's wallet. Somebody could have sent me this Bitcoin address in an email and said, Rex, please send me some Bitcoin. And so we hit continue. Now here's that step you were asking about. Is it possible to send all of the Bitcoin in this wallet without a fee? Not really. You'll notice here I can do a low fee, but 150 is the low. I don't think it's going to allow me to do 0. Right? Fees are required. So it's not going to allow me to send the entire balance without a network fee. Now, the network fee isn't it's not a centralized thing. It doesn't go to the king of Bitcoin, wherever he may be. There is no king of Bitcoin. It's a built-in feature of the blockchain, so that you attach a fee to your transaction, and that transaction fee goes to the miner that processes your transaction. Miners are guys that run high-end rigs that crunch numbers to earn Bitcoin. That's how Bitcoin gets created, right? But I'm not going to send max. I'm just going to send, I don't know, let's send $50 worth of Bitcoin from one wallet to the other, right? I can do either side too. So I could do 50 on this side, or I could just do, I can say, okay, I want to send 0.005 Bitcoin, right? Either way will allow you to, fill in your amount, right? We'll hit continue here. And there's the breakdown of the transaction, right? There's the amount. There's the network fees. And you'll notice that they're pulling that out of my remaining balance, right? So the 0.005 that I want to send, all of it is going to end up in my destination, right? It's not subtracting from my principal. Although exchanges tend to do that, right? So if you say I want to withdraw 0.005 Bitcoin from my exchange to my own wallet, you'll get less, right? Because they take it out of your principal. But a Bitcoin wallet doesn't. Bitcoin takes it out of your remaining balance, and like I said, it calculates that max so that you can't send Bitcoin without there being a fee attached to it. All right, now I'm going to turn on my side camera over here so you guys can see what's going on the device. We're going to hit continue. This is Ledger Live. This is the software. Oh man, things just going weird tonight. All right, I'll just do that. All right. I got to enter my PIN. Man, I'm so sorry about the first 15 minutes of this. I'm going to watch that later and just cringe the whole time. It'd be like, how could you? And I have, I do this every week. I should know better. Anyway, all right. So now it wants me to open the Bitcoin app on the device. So I'm just going to, whoops, oh well. It'll circle back around. There it is, Bitcoin. I'll hit both buttons, right? Now, this is the part where the private keys come in. The private keys are stored on my little device, and you'll notice there that the device has now asked me to review the transaction. Right, so I'm going to hit this button. It tells me the amount I'm sending, the address I'm sending to, and it asks me to accept it. I hit both buttons to accept. Now it wants me to confirm the fee, which is a small Bitcoin fee. I think that's, I don't know. We should try and figure it out. 0.003, maybe $1. I don't know. Right, and there it goes. Right, and the wallet will synchronize. It adjusts the total. We can go back to accounts. We can go over to this guy. And now the Bitcoin came in really fast, right? It didn't really take very long at all. And it's not because both wallets were in my hand, right? Because the wallets really, well, the word wallet is a misnomer, right? This is a keychain. And the Bitcoin is held in an address. And the address is on the blockchain. And there are multiple copies of the blockchain all over the world. I do not have a copy of the blockchain on this machine. I did not. Ledger wallets don't download an entire copy of the blockchain to your machine. So my transaction that I moved, here just a second ago, actually went out on the blockchain and got executed. Right? It's not like it went fast because it was a local thing. It wasn't. It went out on the blockchain and moved some Bitcoin from one address to another. I'm going to turn this light. I can see my face is glowing green because of my... Let's turn lights. Let's do white light. Ooh, that's better. I can see myself a little better there, and you can too. All right, so there we go. We moved some Bitcoin from one address to another. I'm going to check chat, so I'm not going to leave you guys hanging anymore. Love my Nano S, don't need the features of the X. A lot of people are satisfied with the Ledger Nano S. If you just got a couple of cryptocurrencies on there, you're doing fine. If you're like me and you've got a bunch of cryptocurrencies and you run out of room to store your apps, then it gets to kind of be a pain to have to shuffle the apps on and off. And the Ledger Nano X has a bigger screen. So for me, I prefer the Ledger Nano X, but there is nothing wrong with the Ledger Nano S. It works just fine. And it's a great way to get started, and it's cheaper, right? And like I said, if you've only got 4 or 5 coins and you're satisfied, then more power to you on the S, right? And if you're brand new and all you want is to store Bitcoin, then probably the S is your best bet. But I prefer the X. Even if I were only storing Bitcoin, I prefer the X. The screen is bigger. It's easier to see the addresses and all that stuff. Cool. But more power to you, Joe. I appreciate your sentiment. Joe, I was using portable versions of wallets like Electrum installed on a regular flash drive. Alejandro is referring, of course, to the Electrum Bitcoin wallet, which is free to download. The Electrum Bitcoin wallet is an open source piece of software that you can use to send and receive Bitcoin. The private keys are installed on your computer. I'm not really going to go ahead and I'm not going to install it here because I would have to write down my private key and everything that might be a little, but it's real simple. You just download it, install it, and you'll write down your recovery phrase, and then you'll have a little interface where you can send and receive Bitcoin. Write down that recovery phrase and put it in a safe place in case your computer crashes, right? Or you accidentally uninstall it, or somebody steals your laptop, whatever. But as long as you've got that 24-word recovery phrase, you'll be able to restore your wallet, right? Same with the Ledger. Ledger has a 24-word recovery phrase that you write down when you first initialize the device, and then from there you keep that in a safe place, maybe more than one place, a copy in a safe deposit box, offline storage, in case your Ledger gets damaged and your house burns down, right? You'll still have that copy in the bank, safe deposit box, or keep a copy at your mom's house, whatever. It's basically, it holds the key to all of your wallets, right, that you've installed on this thing. All of them. Litecoin, Ethereum, whatever you store on a Ledger, whatever wallets, private keys you create on this can be restored using that 24-word recovery phrase. All right, so let's buy a little, or let's withdraw a little Bitcoin from Crypto.com. I've got Crypto.com. Wow. It's pretty amazing. Right. My son and my mother, whoops, my son and my wife over there. Oh, what have I done? Ugh, seriously. Oh, I need to turn screen mirroring on first, right? There we go. All right, so this is Crypto.com. It's a phone-based cryptocurrency exchange. They don't have they have a website, but the app is standalone, right? It has its own server and everything else, so it can't get like hacked, right? So it's very secure. So I've got some Bitcoin in my Crypto.com wallet. So why don't we withdraw that? So I'm going to tap Bitcoin here, and I want to do a transfer. And in this case, I'm going to withdraw Bitcoin from this wallet to another wallet. All right. So let's whitelist it. First of all, let's get the address, right? We're sending Bitcoin somewhere. Let's go to this guy, this Bitcoin native SegWit. Let's do a receive. And we'll hit continue here. And I'm going to do this right. I'm going to verify the address, right? It's going to ask me to verify this address on my device. I'm in the Bitcoin app, right? And I'm not going to prove it yet, right? I'm going to show QR code before I dismiss this because I want this QR code to show. Oops. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Now we go to external wallet. I'm going to do the whitelist tonight just so you can see how that works. Hopefully I've never used this address before. I don't think I have. So we'll hit plus up in the top right corner. And then I'm going to hit that QR code on my phone. And it opens up the camera. Right? And then I scan in that Bitcoin address. It's the easiest way to enter a Bitcoin address into a wallet. Right? And then I'll call this one ledger. Native SegWit. And then we'll call this one MMPP. I'll just call it LMNOP. Let's call it OO. I've made so many of these, right? I'm trying to keep them unique and separate. I need to put in my two-factor authentication because I'm whitelisting a new address, right? It wants to make sure I'm the one doing this, right? The person that possesses the phone. I'm going to tap that into my clipboard. I'm going to swing back over here and tap paste. Probably missed it. We'll see. Did I get it in time? Nope. All right. All right, so we tap where it says Crypto.com. It copies that into my clipboard. I'll slide back over here to Crypto.com. I'll paste. Continue. And it's going to send me an email to confirm. Right, there's the email. We'll withdraw. That would have been weird. Okay. All right. Is that it? LMN? Oh, there it is. OO. Okay. So now we can tap withdraw Bitcoin. I'll tap in that field there. And then when I tap in the field to edit the amount, all right, you'll see that down below the withdraw button, there's a max. I can tap that. I can withdraw. And confirm. And it needs the two-factor one more time. Let's see if we can do that without missing it this time. And we're done. Tap anywhere to continue. Bitcoin balance is 0. It's going over to my ledger. I get an email confirmation. All right. All right, so let's get this guy out of the way. And now let's finish up what the ledger was wanting me to do, right? Which is confirm that address, right? I didn't want to confirm the address because the window would go away where the address was showing. They kind of got it a little backwards, but that's okay. I can deal with it. All right, I'm done. And now we'll just wait for the Bitcoin to come into this account. May 15th. I just sent that. That's gone. So we'll just wait for the Crypto.com to send the Bitcoin to my own wallet. All right. So for those of you who haven't joined me before, I do a lot of crypto videos, but I also do a lot of two-factor authentication videos, teaching you how to set up Google Authenticator and how to restore Google Authenticator if you get a new phone, or what to do if you lose your phone. So if you're interested in any of that kind of stuff, then just click Google CryptoDad, and then whoops, CryptoDad, and then right. So you can see I do a lot of videos on Google Authenticator. Some of them are kind of old. In fact, the one that I did, I think in early 2018, it's painful for me to watch. It would be almost as painful as me watching the first 15 minutes of this live stream with no sound and everyone screaming. I mean, I'm just like not on my game when I did that video, but it was kind of an important thing that a lot of people like are looking to do. And no one else out there, I guess, had a step-by-stepper on how to do that, and so how to move Google Authenticator to a new phone really took off. This is my latest one, how to recover Google Authenticator when you lose your phone. That one I'm proud of. I did a decent job on that one. So, but yeah, if you're into Google Authenticator and you're mystified and you're like, what the hell is he doing with that Google Authenticator, then you should check some of these out. All right. How can I store Harmony on a Ledger X? I don't believe they support Harmony, but we can check. If you would like to, gotta make sure you verify it via GPG. That was pretty cool. Yeah. All right. So what the heck are they talking about? Okay, thanks. Period. Don't forget to send me pictures of slips since you turned in the envelope. That's kind of a deep topic, but I briefly show you what that is, what he's talking about here. When we were looking at the Electrum, where was that? Was it here? I don't know. God, oh, my thing's going weird on me. Okay. 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 Let's go back to Electrum. We go to download here. See over here it says signature. What the heck is that, right? So we click signature and we get this thing. That is a PGP signature. That's part of how Bitcoin works. Bitcoin works using public-private key signatures. The private key is used to sign transactions. So, but you can also use public-private key cryptography to verify software downloads. So I'll just right-click on this guy. I'll choose Save Link As. I'll drop that in my downloads folder right next to the installer. You see that? They're right next to each other, right? And then I need the signature of the developer for this software, right? That's the tricky part. But here it is. Executionable signed by Thomas V, right? There's his developer signing key, right? So I'm going to right-click that. I'll save that link in my downloads folder, right? And then I got to go over here to Cleopatra, which is my GPG software for Windows, and I'm going to import his signature. There it is, Thomas V. We'll hit open. Should take it a second. And there it is. It imported. Now I need to verify it, right? This is kind of the part where I trust that it is his signature. I'm going to go ahead and certify it. Now we can check that fingerprint too. Make sure that that's the same fingerprint. That's the thing. I don't know if I can where his fingerprint is. Yeah. Well, yeah. He doesn't have a fingerprint separate. So anyway, I'll go ahead and certify it with my password. All right, now that I've got Thomas's signing key in my keychain, right, I can verify that download that I just downloaded. I'll hit decrypt verify. We'll go to downloads. I'll hit the Electrum installer. And now it's going to run a cryptographic verification on that and tell me if that was a good copy of the installer. And lo and behold, it is, right? I still don't, there's no, you normally would double check that fingerprint. But anyway, I digress. Let's go back here. And that Bitcoin from Crypto.com just came in, right? And you'll see Crypto.com took a little bit out of the total to pay for the fee. They absorb the mining fees. They absorb the Bitcoin network fees. And then, but they charge their own fees. So they come out a little bit ahead, right? They're in business, right? They got to make money somehow. So that's part of it, right? They, they charge network fees, withdrawal fees, that kind of thing, right? But that's how we move Bitcoin from one point to another. Now, when the Bitcoin was in my exchange, they were holding it on my behalf. I did not control the private key. When I moved that Bitcoin off of the exchange, the Crypto.com exchange, and onto my Ledger Live interface or onto the blockchain wallet that the private keys reside on this device. I know it's a mouthful. I could just say my wallet, right? But like I said, this isn't really a wallet, it's a keychain. It's just an easy way to think about things, right? But the Bitcoin moved from one address on the blockchain to another address on the blockchain. But that's fine for me. I don't care where it is as long as I have access to it through this keychain, right? So a lot of people ask me stuff like, how much Bitcoin will this thing hold? You know, like, it doesn't matter. You know, the Bitcoin really isn't stored on here. The only thing stored on here is the key, the private key. So you can put an infinite amount of Bitcoin in a Bitcoin address if it existed, but it doesn't, right? There'll only be 21 million total Bitcoins created, and at the moment there's only about 18 million, and a lot of those are lost. A good percentage of them are lost forever. So I don't know, how much Bitcoin can you store on in a blockchain address? Theoretically an unlimited amount, but practically it depends on how much Bitcoin is available, how much you can afford to buy, that kind of stuff, right? But it's probably more than you can imagine, right? Or more than you can afford. Do you need it for Coinbase to Ledger to Nano X? Chop it up. The above was for you. C-Rex is doing it now. Right. Public address is what you give to people when they want to send you crypto. Let's do a Coinbase withdrawal. So Coinbase.com. There's a little bit of Bitcoin in my Coinbase account. I got to put in my master key. Like I said, I was not prepared. Was not properly prepared for this, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to do our Google Authenticator again for Coinbase. I'm just going to wait for it to swing around one more time. All right. I'm going to go ahead and do this quick withdrawal just because a lot of you that are new are probably in Coinbase. I thought that there was some new... it's not. That's okay. I'll just go ahead and buy it. I got a alert that I thought I had like a $10 bonus in here, but that's okay. I'll hit trade. Now I'll buy the Bitcoin using US dollars, right? And I can choose to use my bank account or my debit card. I'm going to choose the debit card option because it is instantaneous. It happens right away. I'm just going to hit 20 bucks worth of Bitcoin, right? I'm going to preview that. Notice I'm going to get a fee there of $1.49 just to buy it. But this is a very easy on-ramp for those of you who are interested in Bitcoin. Go get yourself a Coinbase account. Easy to set up. You'll have to verify your identity and then connect your bank account or debit card, and then you'll be able to buy Bitcoin, right? So if you've never bought Bitcoin before, Coinbase is a good place to start, all right? All right, so now we should have some Bitcoin in our wallet. Notice I got that right away, right? I didn't have to wait 3 days. If I'd used the bank account option, it would have said it was in there, but it wouldn't have been like active. It wouldn't allow me to withdraw it. So, but I want to withdraw it. So let's go back over here to Ledger Live, right? Let's do a receive again. I'm going to cheat. I'm just going to say I don't have my device so I can get a quick and dirty address. I'm not going to go through all the procedures. We'll go back here. We'll do send. I'm going to send from Coinbase to my wallet, my keychain. All right, we'll go down here. I'll go ahead and send max. If you got a lot of Bitcoin in Coinbase and you want to put it in a wallet, be it Electrum or a Ledger, please, 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 please do a small amount first. I get so many comments and emails from people that say that they, transferred their life savings from Coinbase to a wallet and they're freaking out because it's not there yet. In many cases, they're sending me the question after 10 minutes of waiting, right? Sometimes it takes longer than 10 minutes, right? But sometimes they send it to the wrong address, whatever. Please don't send all of your Bitcoin to a wallet if you've never done it before. Always send a small amount first so you can just confirm that everything works on both ends, right? So we'll hit continue here. And I need my two-factor authentication for Coinbase. I've got two-factor authentication enabled on any account that supports it, all right? I've got it on my Gmails, my Microsoft accounts. I've got it on my cryptocurrency accounts. Let's see. I got it on Brave Rewards, BINANCE, Google, all my kids' Google emails. I've got two-factor authentication. It's a great defense against being hacked if your account's compromised. People's accounts are being compromised every day. Servers get hacked. They download all of the usernames and passwords, and even if that particular account isn't important, a lot of people use the same username and password on different sites, and so the attackers get that list, and they just try different accounts using those credentials, and these people, they gain control of people's accounts, right? So that could not happen if you've got two-factor authentication enabled on these accounts. There are ways there are vulnerabilities even in two-factor authentication, but they're pretty difficult, right? They're not like a everyday hacker kind of thing. You got to be pretty savvy hacker to break through someone's two-factor authentication, and it always involves tricking the user into providing that code. So if you're a savvy user and you got two-factor authentication, you're pretty much safe, right? I would never click a weird link and use my two-factor. All right, so let's see now. We just got that other Bitcoin, right? So now you saw me make two withdrawals from exchanges into my own Bitcoin wallet. Now, I would like to show you guys that are regular viewers a little trick that you may not be aware of, right? A lot of people ask me, can I manage 2 different Ledger devices in the same copy of Ledger Live? And the answer is yes. Okay? So these accounts that I've got here are all associated with this Ledger Nano X, right? But what if I have a new device and I want to store some crypto on this device, right? I want a secondary device, right? So that I could put some of the crypto over there and keep it somewhere else, right? For whatever reason. Or it's my wife's ledger, or it's my daughter's ledger, and they want me to like handle it for them or whatever, right? I could put a copy of Ledger on their computer and let them deal with it separately. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that I've got 2 different Ledger devices and I want to be able to manage both of them in the same copy of Ledger Live. So first we'll connect it. All right, I'm going to connect this Ledger Nano S. Can't see it very well. Right, and there it is. Right, I need to enter my PIN. I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, so now that I have connected this device and entered my PIN, right, this is the Ledger Nano S, right? This is a different ledger, right? Let's say I want to store some Bitcoin, right? I've already got the Bitcoin app installed on this device. But if I did not, right, I would go run over to Manager and install the Bitcoin app, right? It's not installed by default. We got the same issue here. We got 2 different ledgers. I'm going to disconnect this one. So when you go into the Manager, you need to be... Well, I'm just messing around all day today.
Okay, you can type it first. What okay. No, next it. Just be careful when you put it.
Oh, please don't make me do this. It's going to make me do it. Okay, I'm going to... okay, so I got to disconnect and reconnect and enter my PIN again. It's just not being nice to me tonight. That's okay. I can handle it. All right, there goes the PIN. There we go. Okay, now I need to allow Ledger Manager on the device, so it needs me to hit... This is confusing for people too. They go, what does this mean when it has something and it has a check mark next to it? In the old days, you hit the button above the check mark. Now it's not like that anymore. When you see this, you hit both buttons to confirm. Now you could navigate over to deny and hit both buttons to deny. We don't want to do that. Let's go back to allow and hit both buttons. I want to allow Ledger Manager on this device. And it's just now you can see there's a lot less room on the Ledger Nano S for apps, right? But that's fine. So we would install Bitcoin, which I've already done. If it wasn't on there, you just hit the install button. Right? Now let's go over to accounts. Now I want to add an account over here that is associated with this secondary device, right? So I'm going to hit add account. I'm going to choose Bitcoin, and I'm going to let it scan this device for private keys. Now in your case, you may not have any wallets on here yet, so it would only offer you 2 options, right? Either create an empty SegWit account or an empty native SegWit account. I recommend native SegWit. It's the most recent. Oh, I need to open the Bitcoin app. Sorry. So I'm in the Bitcoin app, and it's scanning for Bitcoin private keys. It should find quite a few because this is like a really old ledger. I've had it like 3 years. So there's a bunch of old Bitcoin accounts that I'm not using anymore. But we'll let it find them all. That's another thing I wanted to stress about this. The ledger device never forgets wallets that you create. People are always worried, like Ledger Live crashes, and they, oh, where's my Bitcoin? It's gone. It's not gone. It's on your ledger. Your ledger remembers every wallet you've ever created. And you can always get it back by simply running add account and connecting the device and letting look for any wallets that are on there. Now, it's not going to have the same name that you gave it a long time ago, but it will find the wallet with the balance and the transaction history. Now, I'm not really worried about that tonight, but it does sort of need to go through that. I'm going to do an empty one, another one, right? All right, I think it's done, right? So first of all, I'm going to deselect all these old stale ones. I don't want, and then I've got the choice to connect or create one or two, or I could create both of these or either, but I'm just going to do the native segment. Now, here's the trick, right? This account is linked to this ledger. So let's give ourselves a mnemonic so we won't forget. Let's call this one ledger. I could say S, ledger nano S, but I'm just going to go ledger S, right? Keep it short and simple. That means that this account is associated with the ledger nano S and not the ledger nano X. All right. So let's go ahead and do a receive on this brand new wallet. All right. We'll let it. Oh, seriously. Oh my. Okay, there. Right. Boy, it's kind of a weird night, isn't it? All right. So there's the address. On my, you see, it doesn't. The screen is too small to show me the entire address, so I have to scroll through it. But that's okay. I'm going to hit approve. And I don't know what Ledger's doing over here, or Ledger Live is doing. That's okay. I'm going to go just use this address. All right? That's all I really care about. Now let's send some Bitcoin into that. All right, so here's, let's do a send to that. So here I am sending Bitcoin from one ledger to the other. Right? We'll hit continue. Let's do 0.01. Yeah, it's like $100 worth of Bitcoin. We'll hit continue. And continue one more time. And let's see what happens. Oops. You know what? It should have said wrong device. Right? It should have said, oops, wrong device. Because I don't have the Ledger X connected right now. What it wants is the Ledger X, because the Ledger X is the one sending the Bitcoin out. Right? So I'm going to connect my Ledger X, going to enter my PIN, and this is really behaving wonky tonight, but we'll get through it. Usually it just says, oops, oops, wrong device. It knows that you have the wrong ledger connected if you try to send Bitcoin out, right? Because it's looking to sign the private key for that account. It's looking to sign the transaction for that account. All right, now let's see if this works. I'm going to enter the Bitcoin app on this device, and let's see if this works. They're both attached right now. Okay, yeah, it's acting funny. I guess I'm just gonna have to disconnect the other one. I've done this many times, and usually it will I'll let you have both of them attached. But tonight, for whatever reason, it's just not cooperating with me. but that's okay. I troubleshoot with you guys too. Let's hit quit. All right, let's enter the Bitcoin app again. Only this time the other device isn't connected. So let's see if it, there it goes. See? All right, now we're going to confirm this transaction. We'll accept. I'm going to confirm the fee, same amount fee. All right. Application is ready. Broadcasting, and there we go. All right. So the reason I needed to have the X connected was because I was sending Bitcoin out from the X, or the wallet connected to the X, right? The sending wallet needs to sign the transaction with the private key. That's how Bitcoin works, right? Now, what about the receiving one? Well, I don't need to reconnect the Ledger Nano S in order to see that the Bitcoin came in, right? I can check balances all day long. I don't need to have the device connected. But if I want to send out from this somewhere down in the future, then I will need the Ledger Nano S connected. But there you can see that I have a Ledger Live, a copy of Ledger Live with multiple accounts, and then I've also just created a brand new account that's associated with a different device. They can all be managed in the same copy of Ledger Live, although there are some glitches that might occur, as you noticed happened to me tonight, right? When glitches occur, you like disconnect, reconnect, re-enter your PIN, that kind of stuff, right? But generally, it's fairly smooth, right? But it will tell you if you try to send Bitcoin out and you have the wrong device connected, it will know. In tonight's case, it said something went wrong. But usually it'll say, oops, wrong device or passphrase, because it knows that the device you have connected does not contain the private key of the account you're trying to access, right? But you can manage multiple Ledger devices in the same copy of Ledger Live. And we've talked about that before, but I thought maybe I would point that out. Okay, is everyone crying because I haven't... Okay, Rex, warning. All be extremely careful sending ETH to exchanges. Something is going on with a Ledger wallet. Triple check the Ledger before sending. Okay. So, okay. Let's do that. Let's send some Ethereum to an exchange. Let's do Coinbase. So we'll go over here and we'll double and triple check. So let's go to portfolio. Let's go to Ethereum. Right? What the heck is that? That's kind of... Oh, yeah. I just got logged out. I was like, is there really something wrong with Ethereum? Coinbase. Yeah, let's send from our own wallet to an exchange. Notice that in my Ethereum account on Coinbase, the send is dim, right? It's because it's empty, right? There's nothing in there to send. But let's do a receive. All right, I understand that I'm doing Ethereum. There's the QR code. There's the address. I'm using Ledger Live on my computer, so I can't really scan the QR code. So let's hit this little icon here to put that in my clipboard. Let's go back over here. Let's go to Ethereum main. And let's do a send to that Ethereum address. Right? And then we can sort of eyeball it. All right. Well, I guess we can't. I can't see them both on the screen at the same time. It's close. Ah. Okay. Anyway. Anywho, OX4BE6. O4BE6, like 79.29.8 at the end. Okay, I'm satisfied, right? Satisfied that that is the same address, right? Coinbase has given it to me, and I'm going to trust Coinbase. All right, how much am I going to send? Let's send 20, right? I don't want to like send a bunch, like we'll send a lot. All right, so it calculates the gas required here for me. We'll hit continue. We'll hit, there's the confirmation window. There's my network fees for Ethereum, very similar to Bitcoin in the way the fees work on the Ethereum blockchain. We'll hit continue. All right, now it wants me to sign the transaction with my private key. Boy, man, it's just acting weird tonight. All right, let's get out. Usually it'll just say, oh, you're in the wrong app or whatever. All right, so let's go over to Ethereum. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Ledger. All right, but then there's the Ethereum app. All right, we'll enter the Ethereum app. That's what it's saying. It's like open the Ethereum app on your device. There's the breakdown of the transaction. It wants me to confirm. This is me signing the transaction using the private keys that are on this device. There's my fees. I'll hit accept and send. Hit both buttons there. And out goes the Ethereum from my wallet back to Coinbase. Right? And then we're done. Right? So anytime you're sending cryptocurrency out from your own wallet, you need to sign the transaction. Now, there are different types of wallets, right? This is a hardware wallet, so it requires me to physically press buttons in order to sign the transaction. Normally, like a desktop-based wallet, when you send out, it might ask you for a password, like a sending password. That's how you sign the transaction, right? So let's go back over to Coinbase. And let's see here. Let's refresh. There, it's got a pending Ethereum transaction coming in from my wallet. It might take a few minutes for it to actually, be fully confirmed, but it's on its way. So we know when I see the pending, I know that I got the address correct, right? All right, let's go back over here. Jaskrin RKO, did I answer his question? I don't know, Jaskrin. Let's see here. Where do you ask him questions? Okay, here we go. Jaskro, is Ledger safe from Amazon? They said they have official store, but I'm scared now. It's better to get your Ledger directly from Ledger. It just makes sense. But Ledger takes several days, right? Two to 3 days. And now with the COVID thing, it might take longer to get a Ledger. I don't think it really takes that long to get a Ledger. I mean, how fast do you need it, But of course, we want things sooner than later. So it's perfectly safe to buy a Ledger on Amazon. If it's, not perfectly safe, right? Nothing's perfectly safe. But most likely it's going to be sealed. But the thing about it is that when you open it and initialize it, and it generates a private key and all that stuff, it does, when you connect to Ledger Live does a genuine check, right? So we can go over here. Device setup, I think. Yeah. Get started. See here, when you first set up Ledger Live, I'm going to skip setup, but it's going to go through this like it asks you these questions, right? It says yes, yes. Now, right here is where Ledger Live does an internal check on this device. And this, here we go with cryptographic verification and digital signatures. Once again, there is a signature or a public key. I think I get mixed up, but there is a mathematical token that is installed on each and every genuine Ledger device, right? And so it goes onto the server. It connects. I'm connected to my computer, and my computer is connected to the internet. It checks the Ledger server and verifies the token on this device and tells me whether or not it's a genuine Ledger device. Oh, if I'm not in an app, right? So once it's done the genuine check, you can rest assured that it is a genuine Ledger device, right? Even if the box has been opened and this guy has put in his own 24-word recovery phrase for you. Here's your ledger. Here's your 24-word recovery phrase. Go ahead and fill it up with crypto and I'll take it out, right? Even if they've done that, you can always reset the device. And if it's a genuine Ledger device, you're fine. Now, like I said, that's probably not even going to happen. You're probably going to get a factory-sealed Ledger device from Amazon. Open it up, run through the setup. It'll check mathematically, cryptographically on the Ledger server and verify that it has a device. Once you get this little "your device is genuine" message from the Ledger server, then don't be scared anymore, right? It's fine. So yeah, but like I said, it's it's probably more trustworthy to get it directly from Ledger, but there's people sell them on Amazon in the box, sealed, factory sealed in the box all the time. Sometimes you get a better deal on Amazon. Sometimes most of the time it gets there quicker, right? Okay, so sorry that I didn't see that right when it went by. There's a lot of people. Some person said hit the like. I appreciate that. The 50% discount is only on Ledger Nano S. That is true. So thanks for pointing that out. Now there's also a way to do Bluetooth. The Ledger Nano X can do Bluetooth. And let's sync up my phone-based Ledger with my Ledger desktop. All right. So, I've got a bunch of, I just added a new account, right? That Ledger Nano S, right? So how do I get that on my phone? Right, so let's go to settings. Let's go to accounts. Let's go to export accounts. We'll hit export, right? There's that crazy thing, right? Let's get this guy in the front. Let's go to our Ledger app. There's a Ledger app that you can download for iOS or Android. And it has some accounts in there. But let's go ahead and hit, let's go to accounts down there at the bottom, second from the right, left. Now I'm going to hit that plus up in the top right corner. I'm going to hit import desktop accounts down there at the bottom, right? And then my camera opens up and I just lift it up here and I'm going to let it do a sync, right? Notice that little percentage thing along the bottom there. It's importing all of the accounts. Most of them are already in there. But the Stellar and that new Bitcoin account that I just created were not, right? So I can import those into my phone-based. And we'll click that. And there we go. Right? So why don't we try to send a little more Bitcoin from the oh, there's the Bitcoin Ledger S down there at the bottom. Let's send a little bit from the main Bitcoin into the Ledger Nano S from the phone, right? Not connected to anything, right? This is all done through Bluetooth. I'm going to tap the Bitcoin Ledger S. I'm going to do a receive. and I'm going to say I don't have my device because it won't. The Bluetooth doesn't work on the Ledger S, right? But I trust this address. I'm going to copy that into my clipboard, right? Let's go back here. Let's go back up to this main account. Let's hit send. And I'm going to tap and paste that address in that I just got from my Ledger Nano S. How much am I going to send? Let's send another 50. All right. Now I'm going to hit continue. There's a breakdown of the transaction. I'm going to put this over on a stand here real quick. Let's tap continue. Now, let's disconnect this guy. I'm going to go ahead and enter the PIN one more time. It's crazy, man. All right, there we go. All right, so here we go. I've got this guy disconnected, right? It's not connected to anything. It's a Bluetooth, right? I'm going to use Bluetooth to sign the transaction. So I'm going to hit, let's go ahead and turn the camera on here. All right, if you remember, it's not connected to anything, right? Let's tap Ledger X, right? It's going to connect to the ledger. It connected via Bluetooth, sees my ledger, wants me to sign the transaction. But first I need to get into the Bitcoin app. Right, I'll hit both buttons here. Okay. And if this works, I'll be a monkey's uncle. It did work. There you go. All right, now, a lot of people think, oh, that's not safe, sending Bitcoin across Bluetooth. The private key is not leaving the device. The private key never leaves the device. The private key is being used to sign this transaction. And when I click accept, it's going to send out the signed transaction across Bluetooth. Not the private key, just the cryptographically signed transaction. All right, we'll hit close there. And we're done, right? All done through Bluetooth. Pretty cool. Let's turn this guy off again. Let's go back over here. All right, let's go back and check out our old friend, our Ledger Black, and boom, we just got another 50 bucks worth of Bitcoin from our good friend Rex. He sent us some Bitcoin, right? Now, mind you, I can view the balance of the Ledger Nano S, but I cannot send out from using the Ledger Nano S, the older one, because it's not Bluetooth compatible. Right? But I can view the balance all day long on my phone. And I can send Bitcoin into it. I just can't send Bitcoin out from it. But all these other accounts that are on here that are associated with the Ledger Nano X, I have full control of these, right? Via Bluetooth. I could do this on the run, on the road, out and about, wherever you want to think about it. As long as I have my Ledger device and my phone with me. I always have my phone with me. So I just have to remember to bring my Ledger Nano with me if I want to move Bitcoin around. I might. You never know. I've had that situation before where I was considering making a big purchase. And I knew that if I wanted to make that purchase, I was going to need to liquidate some Bitcoin. But I didn't want to liquidate the Bitcoin until I was totally sure that the item that I was after was in stock and available and all that good stuff. So I brought my Ledger Nano X in my pocket, just in case. Yeah. So I could, liquidate the Bitcoin on the fly. And you can't liquidate Bitcoin directly from your ledger, but you can move it somewhere that you can. Like I could move Bitcoin from my ledger device into my Cash app, right? If the Cash app can accept Bitcoin, right? Right? They have it supports Bitcoin. I can deposit Bitcoin in Cash app and then liquidate it right away, and it goes right into my bank account. So I could be standing at the register, move the Bitcoin into Cash app, hit sell Bitcoin, and then cash out, and boom, I would have it in my bank account so that I could use my ATM card. They also have their own card, right, that you can fill up, right? Cash App has its own card too, right? Same with Crypto.com. I could send the Bitcoin in my Ledger device from my Ledger app into my Crypto.com account, make a deposit, and liquidate from there too. I could top up my MCO Visa card on the fly, right? So there's lots of cool ways you can liquidate your Bitcoin now. But, you know, just you can hold it in your own Bitcoin wallet for safekeeping, and your private keys are protected. And it could appreciate in value, right? Might not, right? It might go down in value. You never know. It's not that consistent yet. But we're hoping as time goes by that Bitcoin will be like the dollar, only the opposite, right? A U.S. and people are always, oh, I love the dollar. It's safe. It's wonderful. I trust it. Man, why are you fooling around with Bitcoin? Well, okay, let's talk about your U.S. dollar. Does it buy the same amount of groceries that it used to buy 20 years ago? No. Do you know why? Inflation. And we always talk about inflation. Oh, don't worry, inflation's low right now. We got a good, economic policy. Inflation is low. That doesn't mean there's no inflation. It just means it's low, which means there's always an inflation rate, which means that your dollar is always depreciating in value, and it buys less and less as time goes by. Is that the kind of currency that you love and trust? The kind of currency that is leaking value all the time? As the sun goes up, and as long as the grass is green and the sky is blue, the U.S. dollar will buy you less and less as time goes by. That's the currency you love and trust. Bitcoin, we're hoping, the way it's built, is deflationary by nature. And although it has its ups and downs, it will increase in value as time goes by. That's one of the goals of Bitcoin, right? Deflationary. All right, so let's see what people are asking. Rocky, U.S. dollar goes brrr. That's right. Liquidate BC from Cash App. Good to know. Yes, very simple to do. Yeah. I'll see if I can go through. I don't have any Bitcoin in there right now. But let's say I had Bitcoin, I could sell. Bitcoin. Well, there's no sell button because there's no Bitcoin in there. But then you go over here to Bitcoin, and then if there is an amount of Bitcoin, if there is Bitcoin in there, you can sell the Bitcoin. And then you'll have a cash balance. And then you can cash out to your bank account instantaneously for a fee. You can do it for free, and it takes like 24 hours or whatever, right? But I've done it many times. It's good, easy to use. Not your keys, not your coin. If you want your crypto safe, move it to a hardware wallet, right? So yeah, like I said, I've got on-ramps and off-ramps. I've got my Bitcoin stored in my own wallet with my own key, but I also have the flexibility to liquidate that Bitcoin by simply moving it to an exchange whenever I need to, right? So I usually would do that from home, but like I said, you could carry your Ledger Nano S around with you in your pocket and liquidate your Bitcoin if you really needed to, out and about. And it's safe to carry your ledger around with you in your pocket because no one knows your PIN. So if you drop it or lose it or crush it, you can always restore it with your 24-word recovery phrase. Right? So it's a good way to manage your money. I live in New Zealand and will be buying crypto from New Zealand retailer, but we don't have crypto exchange. What company can you recommend? Also, do you keep all crypto on hardware or online wallet too? Like I said, I kind of spread it around back and forth. The bulk I keep in my own wallet, hardware wallet. I think, I don't know about New Zealand, but I think you can use crypto.com in New Zealand, right? I think you can use Binance without verifying your account. So you would need to deposit some crypto in your Binance account. So you gotta, I'm not sure what your on-ramps would be in New Zealand. Apologize for that. I don't know specifically. You might check in the Cash app if it's available in New Zealand, that you can buy Bitcoin right in the Cash app, right? If you go over here to buy Bitcoin, see we got stocks or Bitcoin, we can hit buy and it comes right out of your debit card. So I don't know if the Cash app is available in New Zealand or not, but that's a way, that's an on-ramp to actually get Bitcoin in your possession, right? In your Cash app. But then once you buy it in Cash app, you should withdraw it to your own Bitcoin wallet, right? Cash app is not a Bitcoin wallet. It's like a Bitcoin on-ramp, an exchange. It holds Bitcoin for you, right? But if you're in New Zealand and you're trying to buy Bitcoin, you're going to have to figure out your on-ramp, right? How are you going to get Bitcoin for your dollars, right? Or whatever New Zealand uses. I'm not sure what they call your currency. If you use British pounds or euros, or you wouldn't use euros. You have New Zealand dollar. Yeah. Yeah, so unfortunately I don't know for sure what the best on-ramp would be in New Zealand. What does it say on the Ledger S microcontroller? I don't know. You'd have to break it open for that. X not S? Not cool, man. Okay, DJ Vertigo says he's used 5 hardware wallets and he likes Ledger the best. I find it the best mix of security and convenience. There are other hardware wallets out there. Trezor is another really good and secure and pretty easy to use. Well, pretty much the same as Ledger as far as convenience and ease of use. Has its pros and cons, just like Ledger. Yeah. Yeah. That's okay. My Gemini can't withdraw my BCH to my Ledger Nano S even when I use QR code. I deleted BCH account and then reinstall it on Ledger Live. Rocky, you need to convert that BCH address. There's different formats of Bitcoin Cash. This is a fairly common issue, right? This is a converter that will convert the older format to the newer format or vice versa. You can put an old format address in there and it'll give you a new format address when you hit convert. Or you can put a new format address in there and it'll give you an old one, right? It depends on what your cryptocurrency, but they'll both be the same wallet, right? So you do the conversion and then you use that on your exchange to make your withdrawal. And please, 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 only do a small amount first after you've done this little conversion to confirm that it is in fact working. But this happens quite a bit, that people are trying to withdraw Bitcoin Cash and their exchange is telling them it's not a valid address. Right? You need to do a conversion there. Yeah. Best of luck to you. I hope everything works out for you. Okay, guys, sorry this has not been one of my best live streams. I will cop to that right now. No one could hear me for the first 15 minutes. There were quite a few glitches going on. I wasn't fully prepared when I sat down, but I'm glad you were all here. I hope I said something that helped you. I hope that you saw me move Bitcoin back and forth, that a bell or clicked, or something clicked, or a bell went off, or a light bulb in your head, and you said, ah, that's how it works. So hopefully you got something good out of this. I'm here every Friday. Tron, just real quickly, Tron appears to be working now. Like I said, I've had some struggles with Tron. They just recently added support for Tron. I unfroze my Tron because the problem that I had was the Tron was frozen, but then all of a sudden it gave me a 0 balance, and I'm not that crazy about that. Like I see, Tezos is delegated, but it still shows me my balance and my value. But all of a sudden, Tron went to 0 with no value, and I tried to uninstall it, reinstall it, was fighting with it, but it finally worked okay. It came back. So I don't know if it had anything to do with Ledger or if it was Tron. The people at Tron were doing updates or whatever, but it seems to be okay now. And it was never gone, right? It just wasn't showing up properly in Ledger Live. But they appear to have solved that issue, right? And I don't think it had anything to do with a Ledger update. Something just happened and it seemed to work. What you just said, if I store my XRP on a Nano X and lose it, I can buy a new one and install my 24-word recovery phrase and I'm good to go. Chop it up, that is absolutely correct. That is exactly what you can do. I have several videos on doing restores on Ledger. You simply buy yourself a new device and pull out your 24-word recovery phrase, and you do, instead of initializing it as a new device, you restore to it from a recovery phrase. And yes, it becomes a mirror image of the lost, damaged one, right? The one that you needed to replace, right? So yeah, just Google CryptoDad Recover Ledger, and there's all sorts of cool videos on how you do restores. I'm gonna sign out, guys. You can't even get Tron on the app on the Ledger Live. Well, first thing you need to do is install the app in the manager, right? You need to go over to the manager and install the Tron app first. Well, it's not gonna. I don't have it connected right now, but you install the app, then you go and add the account, right? And choose Tron. But you have to have the app installed on the device in order to do that, right? Two-step process. Install the app on the device, then add the account in Ledger Live, and it should work. You'll have a 0 balance, right? And then you can move Tron in there. Yes, I did that on the live stream tonight. I demonstrated how you have different accounts, and then I added a different account associated with a Ledger S, right? You can manage multiple Ledger devices in the same copy of Ledger Live. Yeah, we did that tonight. So if you want to just zip back through the video and you'll see where I did it. Pretty straightforward. All right, guys, I'm signing off. You guys, thanks for bearing with me tonight. Thank you, the golfer guy who was running the show here most of the night. I've never seen anyone talk that much in the live stream, but more power to you, Joe Golfer. Thanks for helping out and adding insight and helping other people out that maybe I missed their question. So once again, thanks, guys. Don't forget, I do this every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join me for my live Q&A from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my very best to get them answered. Hope to see you there. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me and hope to see you again soon.